Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 24 career mode. We return today off the back of closing out the Serie A season in the previous episode, which saw us just miss out on the title to AC Milan, who withheld our pressure and ended up being crowned champions of the Serie A, and thoroughly deserved as well. They were by far the best team throughout the course of the season. But we return today with two massive games, both against Napoli in the Coppa Italia final, then the Champions League final as well. So two massive games against the same opposition as we look to close out the season with some silverware. Kicking off with the Coppa Italia final, Forza Juventus. So massive first game of the episode here, and of course we're going to be getting to know Napoli pretty well as we will face them again in the Champions League final after this game, before conducting a full season roundup to close out today's episode. But yeah, obviously Napoli were last year's Serie A champions. They fell a little bit short this season, and they did stick with ourselves in Milan, but fell off towards the end of the campaign. So they'll be looking to make sure they get their hands on some silverware with the Coppa Italia today. Of course, after missing out on the Serie A, we are also desperate to win some silverware, and both teams will have the chance against each other to potentially win a double. Be a chance for a break here. Hlojek releases Dusan, and Dusan Vlahovic a little bit wide. Vlahovic puts it wide. First chance of the game, and the ball through sent him a little bit wider a goal than I would have liked, and he flashes the ball past the far upright. Jude, that's you all day long. Terrible kick from the goalkeeper. Hlojek, oh, it's so close. I thought it was in. I don't know if you can tell from my reaction. I thought that was in. So close from the Czech. There's two big chances in a couple of minutes for Juventus, but still we await the breakthrough. Here's Osimhen for Napoli. Oh, that's fantastic from Victor Osimhen. And my keeper got stuck as I tried to bring him out, and Victor Osimhen, the Nigerian, gives Napoli the lead. Well, I'm a little bit speechless after that, because the little run from Osimhen absolutely turned Romero inside out, and once he was through, you'll see on the replay, watch the keeper, he just gets stuck, he gets caught in the mud, trying to close down the angle, and Osimhen has an easy finish. Never going to miss from there, especially with the keeper out of the equation. Corner for Napoli goes short to Kvaratskhelia, who runs straight into Fede Chiesa, and that's a good ball into Hlojek, and he's going to need some support. Good hold up from Adam Hlojek, and Dusan can look back for the Czech, and this time Hlojek finds the back of the net. What a finish from Adam Hlojek. First time on the weaker left foot, sent it wide of the post, but this time makes no mistake. Brilliant counter-attack from Napoli's poor corner, and we go from one end to the other and hit back instantly. So second half underway, Napoli kicking off, and it's been a very, very even game so far. We had those two early chances with Dusan and then Hlojek before Napoli took the lead, but I think it could be a game where the next goal wins it. If we are to get it, I feel confident that we can hold on. If it goes to Napoli, then there's a lot of work to get back into it. And hang on a minute, Chiesa to come back into traffic and wins the free kick. Okay, and it will be the left foot of Dusan Vlahovic. Oh, and that is mightily close. Just an inch too much power on it that takes it over the top of that goal. Keeper was not getting there, and it just brushes the roof of the net on its way over. De Jong, great little put in, and now Hlojek away from his man. Dusan, who's getting closer, back to Adam Hlojek with the Trivela. Turn it away pretty comfortably as we look to up the pressure on the Napoli goal. De Jong's ball in, looking for Dusan, well won in the middle, and Osimhen will pick up the loose ball. And Havertz again away from Jude, and Havertz shoots and Desplanches turns it away. This game's sort of ebbing and flowing Both teams creating chances and having moments where they're on top, but who will find the goal? Bacca from centre-back, stepping into midfield. Trouble here, shot comes in, Desplanches turns it away, just a few moments to play, and still tied at 1 apiece. Corner for Napoli, short to Xavi Simons off the bench. And still Xavi Simons, good ball! And Napoli win it with the final kick of the game as Bacca comes in round the back stick and surely wins it for last year's Serie A champions. That is gutting. Didn't get close enough to Simons, who spins away, and it's a fantastic ball to the back post. And Bacca couldn't really miss heading in at the back stick, and that will surely do it. And, well, not only have we lost the game, Frenkie de Jong's just gone down injured, and he's had to come off. And this is going to do it. Played short to by Cetic, and there is the whistle. And it's another trophy that slips through the grasp of Juventus. The board are not going to be happy. And in the first of our 2 finals against Napoli, it's 1-0 to the side from Naples, who win the first trophy by 2 goals to 1. Well, that is gutting, man. I thought we probably had the better of the chances throughout the game. It was pretty even, it was frantic and end to end. But Napoli winning it at the death, giving us no time to respond. And the board at Juventus are not going to be happy with this result. Lost out in the Serie A to Milan, and now in the domestic cup competition, losing out to last year's champions, Napoli. Well, as we head back into the menus, as we watch Napoli celebrating their trophy, we see that Frenkie de Jong has gone down after that game with a dislocated shoulder that will keep him out for up to 2 months. And now our attention turns to the Champions League, where we know that that rematch against Napoli is now even bigger, as we are out for revenge and we need to get our hands on some silverware this season. If we end up trophyless, it has been an almighty failure for Juventus. So after the loss to Napoli in the Coppa Italia final, we're going to move straight on and head into the second game of today's episode. It's the big one at the Champions League final, as we look to get revenge on the side from Naples, our domestic rivals. And after losing that cup final and already having lost out on the Serie A, it's vital that we get revenge on Napoli and pick up this Champions League trophy. Forza Juventus. Alright then guys, so it's time for part 2, and it's a massive one. Having just lost to Napoli in the Coppa Italia final, it's imperative, as I just mentioned, that we get our hands on this Champions League trophy, and I'm going to be going all out today for that victory. And yeah, we know where Napoli's danger lies in their front three, so strong, with Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia and of course Kulusevski, our former player, as a strong challenge on Jude. So yeah, we're going to have to work hard to keep them quiet, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident. You know, we had that first game against them, and now it's time we go out there and get the win. Forza Juventus, let's get the job done. Looking for an early start here with Dusan into Onyedika, who gets the start today for the injured Frenkie de Jong. And Project, let's fly. And the first effort of the game is for Juventus and test the Napoli keeper. Away down this right hand side, Tomiyasu by Cetic into Osimhen. Can't give him a yard. And that's exactly what we did, and he forces the save out of Diogo Costa. Throw in for Napoli on this far side. Kvaratskhelia. Now Victor Osimhen able to turn. And trouble here, and that's a fantastic save by Diogo Costa to deny Dejan Kulusevski. Second save of the game from Costa. Still, Onyedika will get there. Jude Bellingham to hit one. Jude! Turned away by Koch in the Napoli goal, and that's the first save we've forced him into today. Jude's delivery, Romero competing with Kulusevski, and back out to Jude Bellingham, and that's comfortable for Koch this time. Just approaching half time here. Jude finds Chiesa, and it's all very tight. It's a good ball into Vlahovic, and it's back to Fede Chiesa here with a chance, and Project pegs it back for Dusan, and it's wide on his favoured left foot. Top scorer in the Serie A this season, but he couldn't find the net there. And that's probably the biggest chance of the game, and it's put wide by Dusan. Tied at half-time here. Napoli 0, Juventus 0. Second half underway, and I'd like to get a little bit more control in this second period. We had less of the ball than Napoli, and it felt like we were sort of chasing the game. What a ball that is. And Jude gets it down. Look at the space for Rafael Onyedika. Decent effort. Turned away by Koch again. And as I say, want a little bit more control. Jude's ball in. Parola attacks it. And it's onto the roof of the net. First couple of chances of this second half falling to Juventus. And the Napoli gaffer calling to Xavi Simons on the bench. Let's see if he can have any impact on the game. Here is Simons' first involvement. He's dispossessed there by Jude Bellingham, who finds Fede Chiesa, who gets away from Mavropanos. Get back onside. Dusan! Well, how about that? The gaffer turns to his substitute, and he's the man who gives the ball away in the build-up to the goal. Simons dispossessed. Chiesa too quick down that side, and pegs it back to Dusan Vlahovic, who gives us the lead here at the Bernabeu. First goal in the Champions League this campaign, and what a time to get it, just 10 minutes into the second half of the final. Jude swings the ball in, and Dusan again, it's off the line. I think it was Dusan who got his head to it, and it was Destiny Udogie on the line who cleared it. That's good from Romero. Onyedika through the gap. Project and Jude Bellingham lets fly, and again Koch is there. A little bit more comfortable for him that time. The ball, Osimhen. Trouble, couldn't get the pass right to Kulusevski. Costa will clear. It's a dangerous ball as well, and it's come to Dusan. And Vlahovic to seal it! Well, that will certainly do it. What a ball by Diogo Costa. And Dusan was on his toes. Nipped it off the toe of Mavropanos. And that will be enough surely now for Juventus to confirm their revenge on Napoli after that loss in the Coppa Italia final. Dusan at the double, and Juve surely to be crowned champions of Europe. And that should just about do it as Dusan looks for the hat-trick. It's over the top, but it will not matter as his 2 goals are enough to confirm Juventus as Champions League winners. And here come the celebrations. Dusan Vlahovic's goal's enough. And Jude Bellingham will be the man to lift the trophy shortly, but the celebrations commencing. We've got our revenge over Napoli. And after falling short in the league to AC Milan, and then earlier on in today's episode losing that Coppa Italia final, it was imperative that we finish the season with some silverware. And it's the biggest of the lot, the Champions League, that Juventus will be lifting. And it's fitting that it's at the home of Real Madrid, the record holders of this competition. And it's a former Real Madrid man, Jude Bellingham, our captain, who will lift the Champions League trophy for Juventus, your champions of Europe. So there it is then, Juventus are your UEFA Champions League winners, and that was a big one. We needed that after our loss in the Coppa Italia final. of course, to Napoli just earlier on in today's episode. We were desperately in need of finishing the season with a trophy after losing out domestically, and yeah, you'll be seeing the final standings here. But with the amount of money that we spent, it was imperative that we won something, and of course it is the big one, the Champions League trophy. And I'm becoming a bit of a master of this competition, a master of success in the Champions League, as that's now back-to-back trophies with different clubs. We will also take a look at the rest of the European winners. So Arsenal ended up winning the UEFA Conference League in a semi-final, which saw them take on Real Madrid. That's crazy. The Europa League this year was won by Lazio, another Italian side, beating Borussia Mönchengladbach in the final, who knocked out Monza, who had a good run. And of course, as we know, it was ourselves who won the Champions League, defeating Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. Of course, we beat Villarreal in both legs by 1-0 in the quarter-finals, and it was the same in the last 16 against the Germans, RB Leipzig, both legs finishing by 1-0. And then, of course, rounded it off with that final victory against Napoli. Whilst we're at it, I want to see how my former team, Sheffield United, got on. Third place for them, so a respectable finish with me no longer at the helm. I do always say take these tables with a pinch of salt, because they never really load properly. But Ligue 1 was won by Paris Saint-Germain. No surprises there. The Bundesliga this season was won by Bayer Leverkusen. So Xabi Alonso's side again beating Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund to the title. Of course, we know that the Serie A was won by Milan. Braga with another title in the Liga Portugal. What are they cooking up over in Braga? I think that's their third league title in a row now. And to end off, we'll have a look at La Liga, which was won by Sevilla. Wow, Real Madrid down in 7th. Again, that's why I always say take these tables with a bit of a pinch of salt. For the time being, though, we will not be heading anywhere, because I want to stick it out with this Juventus project. Obviously, fantastic winning the Champions League, but I want to have some domestic success, especially the Serie A title. I'm gunning for that next season. So we're going to close out with a full season roundup. Should be a bit quicker than usual, as the squad's a bit smaller here than what we saw at Sheffield United. So Chesney, quick mention to him. He's into his 40s now. He's been at the club for God knows how many years in this save. 40 years of age now, as I say, declined by 4 and down to 75 overall. We didn't actually give him an appearance this season, but Chesney, a loyal servant to the club. Maybe he'll come back as a goalkeeping coach. But Diogo Costa, very good season from our number one, up to 90 overall now with 26 clean sheets in all competition, with 9 of those coming in the Champions League. Fantastic run for Costa in the Champions League, and 16 in 38 in the Serie A. Desplanches was brought in as our cup keeper. Played most of our games in the Coppa Italia. Diogo Costa did actually get 2 runouts in the cup as well, but Desplanches was just brought in as our backup goalkeeper. Parisi, really solid season for him. Grown up to 88 overall now, so his values skyrocketed. Really good season for him. 1 goal, 3 assists from left back, and 20 clean sheets when he was in the team. Barbosa is one of the young players that we've got heading out on loan next season. We got a few of them who have come through and been promoted. Carlo D'Angelo, who was our backup left back this season. Pretty solid shift from him whenever he was called upon. 15 games, no goals, no assists, 6 clean sheets in the games that he did feature. But fullback is one of the positions that I am looking to improve on heading into next season, which I'll discuss at the end of the episode. At centre-back, we struggled a little bit in terms of depth with a few injuries to Koundé throughout the season, but Christian Romero, 32 years of age, but ever present in that back line. 1 goal in the Serie A. I vaguely remember it being quite an important goal as well. Grown a rating up to 87, and a very solid season for the Argentine. Jules Koundé, who was his main partner next to him, 31 years of age, but just 21 games played. due to a couple of injuries, as I mentioned, throughout the course of the season. So we were dependent on Parola and Diomande quite a lot. Both grew by a rating, both players who were signed in the summer. And they shared the game time out between them. 1 goal and an assist for Lorenzo. And Diomande, no goals for him, but 10 clean sheets in his 26 appearances. Ferrari, another of the young youth players, with Di Carvalho, who we've already agreed loan deals with, so they'll be heading out for some football next summer. Dedic, really good signing as well. Really happy with the Bosnian this season. 47 games played is one of the most of any outfield player. So 47 games played, just the 1 goal, no assist from Dedic, but a very solid signing. Having him on the right hand side allows Parisi on the left hand side to really bomb up and get involved in the play. Stefano, similarly to his brother Carlo, did a decent job when called upon. Only 79 overall, grew by 1 rating. No goals and no assists, but a pretty solid backup to Amar Dedic when needed in those midweek games. Rafael, really good signing, grew a rating this season. Popped up with 3 goals and 3 assists in all competitions, but as I mentioned when we signed him, he was just that profile that we didn't have in the big games, that real hard-working, holding midfielder. And he was really important in that Champions League final, coming in for Frenkie de Jong. Rafael, we love you. Brilliant signing in the summer. Fede Chiesa sadly starting to decrease in his stats and his rating down to 84 overall. I'm not sure why, because he had a really good season, especially first half of the campaign. He was brilliant. 8 goals and 8 assists in all competitions. Brought back in the summer. And although on the wings is a position we may look to improve, he will be sticking around for next season as he had a really good campaign. Duranville, bit of a strange one because he grew really well up to 86 overall. But I didn't really get on with him that much. 5 goals and 7 assists, but it took him a while to get his first. And I think I prefer him as like an impact sub player. Obviously only 24 years of age, so still room to grow, and obviously great progression this season. But he's so rapid. I quite like having him as an impact sub off the bench. So he did okay, but I didn't really get on with him when he started. Vincenzo, really good pickup on a free. Didn't play a huge amount, only 18 appearances, but 4 goals and 5 assists. And grown 3 ratings up to 78. He was a really good bit of business towards the end of the summer transfer window. Frenkie de Jong, really good season for him. 33 years of age now, so he is getting on a little bit, but he has still grown up to 90 overall. 12 assists in all competitions, with 11 of those coming in just 20 Serie A appearances. And he's one of those players that does a lot of the dirty work in the background and you don't see a lot of it. But as you can see from the average ratings, really solid performances from Frenkie de Jong. Weston McKennie, the leader of the 6, love this man, vice captain when Jude Bellingham doesn't play. 33 appearances, and he basically appeared in every position this season. The utility man, we know how much we love Weston McKennie around these parts. 33 appearances, and he popped up with 7 goals in that time as well, with 5 assists. Most of his games come from the bench, and he was just fantastic for us this season. I love Weston McKennie, and he will be sticking around next season. Ranocchia, good season for him as well. Doesn't feature a huge amount, but when called upon, he does do well in that central midfield position. 20 appearances for him in all competitions, just the 1 goal in the Coppa Italia and 1 assist as well. But again, one of those squad players who's just so important to have, never moans about not getting enough football and always performs when called upon. The captain, the main man, Jude Bellingham, 43 appearances this season and 14 goals and 7 assists from central midfield. Fantastic return from Jude. As we know, he started the season like a house on fire, was scoring goals for fun. And of course, he tailed off a little bit as expected, but still a very solid season for Jude Bellingham. Nicolo, another interesting one, up to 88 overall, so he did grow a rating. No goals and 8 assists in all competitions, but he's another one of those who I didn't really get on with that much when he played. So we'll see if there's any interest in the summer, as I have got someone that I could potentially replace him with. But yeah, for Nicolo, he's a little bit unhappy at the moment due to his play time. So an interesting one to keep an eye on in the summer transfer window with just 2 years left on his deal. Domenico Berardi is retiring at the end of the season. Only 2 appearances, both of which came in the group stage of the Champions League. And speaking of the Champions League, he got the name Mr. Champions League during the season due to his brilliant form in that campaign, especially in the group stages. Adam Klojek, 7 goals and 1 assist in 11 Champions League appearances, 15 and 9 in all competitions, grew by 2 overall, and really important to this squad when Harry Matthews went down injured, which of course was gutting to see. We love Harry Matthews, and he came back stronger than ever. 10 goals, 10 assists in just 27 appearances in all competitions. Really, really good season for Harry Matthews. Just a shame that it was so hampered with injury. And I'm hoping that if we can keep him fit next year, he is going to really elevate his game and take it to the next level. Gabriel Collins, though, with that in mind, due to the injuries to Harry Matthews, got quite a bit of game time, 19 appearances in all competitions, 3 goals and 4 assists, and up to 71 overall. Really, really good season for Gabriel. I'm not too sure whether to keep him here for next season or maybe loan him out and get him some more football. But yeah, when called upon, the Canadian did a really, really good job. And just 19 years of age, we definitely haven't seen at the end of Gabriel Collins. Luca Prestiani, another one a little bit like Duranville. I feel like I didn't necessarily get the best out of him, but he is absolutely rapid like Julian, and I really like him coming off the bench on that right-hand side. So again, he's another that when he starts, he probably doesn't play as well as others like Chiesa. So for Gianluca, I'm definitely going to keep him for next season. I love him as an impact sub, but just 3 goals and 5 assists in all competitions wasn't the greatest of returns from him, but I love him as an impact sub. Luca is probably going to be sold in the summer. Was out on loan at Salernitana for the first half of the season. Contract expiring in a year's time. And I just think we've got much better players. So, yeah, Luca's probably going to be sold. Christian Flores didn't feature a lot, just 2 appearances. And he's another one that may get loaned out next season to get him some more first-team football. Valentini, really good young Italian who's come through the academy, 61 overall, and shows some pretty good potential as a left winger. He's going to join Cosenza on loan next summer, so hopefully we see some growth from him. You can see up 9 ratings from a position change. Yohan Bakayoko, again, a little bit underwhelmed with Yohan. Really like him on that right-hand side, cutting in on his left foot. He's got the 5-star skills, I think it is. Yeah, 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot. Cutting in on that left-hand side, he seems like the perfect player for me. But I alluded to it a few times in the season. No goals for Yohan Bakayoko as a right winger all season long is quite disappointing. He did crop up 8 assists throughout the campaign, but obviously had his injury troubles as well. I think he went down 2 or possibly even 3 times. So yeah, interesting one to see what we do with our wingers next season. And it is a position that I am potentially looking at to invest in. Even though we only signed Bakayoko last summer, potentially looking to bring in a world-class winger to elevate us to the next level. Nathan Jackson, similarly to Gabriel Collins, got a decent amount of game time this season due to injuries and other players not performing, up to 68 overall, and I'm a big fan of this lad. He's in bad form apparently, so it's sort of stunted his growth, but he's actually going to go out on loan next summer, still just 17 years of age, and him and Gabriel I'm really, really excited for moving forward. And then as for our attackers, really, really good seasons for all of them. Of course, Dusan Vlahovic, the main man, 30 years of age now, but 36 goals and 13 assists in all competitions. Fantastic return for Dusan in his first season back in Turin, and I don't need to replace him. Even at 30 years of age, he is fantastic, and he will be staying next season and sort of heading up our title charge. Giuseppe Ambrosini, really good signing. It was a really small fee that we paid Napoli to bring him in. And as a third choice striker, he's very, very solid. 3 goals and 1 assist, but most of his appearances do come off the bench in the latter stages of our games when I know we're winning comfortably. So yeah, difficult to judge him on his goal to game ratio. But as for Nilos Kaya, again, fantastic season for Nilos. 15 goals, 9 assists. And he's a similar one that, because Dusan started most of our games, a lot of his game time is coming off the bench and when we're chasing games, so he doesn't get a huge amount of minutes, but always has an impact when called upon. Did really well in the Champions League with 3 goals and 4 assists, and yeah, just a fantastic season from Nilos. We've got loads of players on the shortlist that we'll go through in the season opener next time around as we kick off our second season in Turin. But that will do it for today, guys. It's been a bit of a crazy season with us chasing down Milan, who flew out of the blocks, and we were never quite able to catch up with them. Obviously, we will, of course, be back next campaign with some new recruits and our second season in Turin, as I am going after that Serie A title. We've ticked off the Champions League again, and now I am desperate for some domestic success. So let me know if you do have any transfer recommendations down below. And I'll catch you for the next episode where we kick off season 8 of The Save and our second here in Turin. I'll catch you for it very soon, guys, and peace.